Here we go. Good evening and welcome to this special edition of Showtime TV. I'm your host. I have a very special guest this evening. Everybody knows her. Oh man, let me see. She's a playwright. She's a producer. She's a director. She's an actress. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Ms. Connie Drummond. Ms. Connie, good evening and welcome to today's program.
Well, good evening, Omar. Thank you so much for having me on tonight.
All right, it's been okay, I got some feedback. I'm gonna let me finish down a little bit. Okay, we getting a little echo there, so I did. Okay, all right, Ms. Connie. Okay, so now, like I said, I introduced you as a producer, director, actress, and all that good stuff. So tell me, how did you get the acting bug? What brought you into the entertainment field?
Oh my goodness, I was in a play when I was 8 years old. I wanted to be Marian Anderson, but I didn't get that part. So the part that I got actually was a non-speaking role. It was called Woman at Door. So when Marian Anderson knocked on the door, because she was, during the play, she was trying to collect money to take her music lessons. And she knocked on my door and she asked if she could wash my steps. And the only thing I had to do was shake my head no. But I shook my head no, like so well that my mother started screaming and hollering in the audience and everything like that. And it made me feel really, really good. So that's kind of how it all started.
Okay, so now the playwriting, you've done numerous plays, Philadelphia and in Wilmington and other places in Delaware Valley. At what point did you decide that you wanted to be a playwright?
Well, I've been writing since I was a child, but it wasn't until I got involved with a Creative Touch production company that I decided to start writing plays. I always thought that when I wrote, I would be a book author. Mm-hmm. But when I got involved with Creative Touch, it just showed me another avenue where I could use my writing. And I just love doing it. I love being on the set, and I love being like on the board of directors and backstage. So that was I guess a turn in my writing career that pushed me into this direction.
Okay, now why don't you mention to those who are watching, what are some of the plays that you've written?
Okay, well, of course, I have my my award-winning play, North Philly Billies. That's the one that we actually went to like 3 states to produce. Okay. I've done another one called Rumors. And, since I got into the space, I've actually produced and directed other people's plays as well. That gives you an opportunity to, learn a little bit more, because when you write your own plays, you only have that one mindset. But as you start to read and, produce other people's work, it kind of expands your horizons a little bit.
Right.
We've done 12 Angry Women, the Vagina Monologues, we've done The Meeting. And then right before, I guess about 2018, we did a play called Call Me Mr. Scrooge, which was a Christmas play by another playwright. And that was really cool because we did the play and we didn't know that there was a reporter in the from the Philadelphia Tribune there. Oh, so he gave us a really great write-up and everything. And I was so proud of the cast and everything because they worked really, really hard.
Okay, now where was this play performed?
It was performed at Artscape, my Black Box Theater in Wilmington.
All right. Now, Artscape, you just mentioned Artscape. You had this now for, I'm not sure how long, but you can tell me the process of how did you go about getting to Artscape? But let's start from the beginning. You probably, you were brainstorming saying, you know what, I want my own place, to take it from there.
Well, it's a really interesting story. That particular year, well, we just had our 5th anniversary at Artscape. We celebrated that in May. But what happened was that particular year, I wanted to mount a production. Mm-hmm. And I couldn't find rehearsal space. I couldn't find a theater. Like everything was rented out because, as you know, Delaware, we have a lot of artists here.
Right.
So I couldn't find a space, and I ended up having to sit a whole year out without a production. So, you know, when that's your work, you know, you have to work.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, my focus was off and everything like that. And I was like, you know what, I need to find a space, just, you know, for rehearsals and things like that. And then I'll never have to worry about this again. So, you know, I brainstormed with a few of my friends who had opened small theaters across the country. And, you know, they kind of gave me some tips and everything like that. Well, what happened was the job where I was working at started laying off people.
Oh.
And they laid me off and gave me my severance check. And while I was walking down the street, I saw the building next door to Artscape.
Mm-hmm.
So I looked in it and it looked like it could probably be a rehearsal space. I was like, okay, maybe I'll just start here. And then I went into the rental office, and the lady said, I told the lady what I wanted to do. I sat down with her and I talked to her for about an hour and a half. And she says, actually, I think I have a better space for you. And she took me into Artscape, which used to be Film Brothers.
Oh, Lord, yeah.
It used to be Film Brothers. And she took me in there, and it was just the perfect space because I just was looking for something where I could do plays and maybe have about 75 or 80 people, you know, in there just to do small productions, you know, black box style, old fashioned, you know, minimal sets, that kind of thing. And I fell in love with the place and signed the lease about a week later. And the rest is history. I'm now working at Artscape full time.
Oh,
and
okay.
It's just been a blessing all the way around, you know.
So tell me something. When you got that key, after all the documentations were signed, and you had that key and you was walking in that door, you opened that door, what was the feeling like?
Oh my God. I mean, it felt like such an accomplishment, but it took me back to when I bought my first home.
Oh,
and it's just an amazing feeling when you know that you're in your space and you no longer have to beg for rehearsal space. You don't have to talk people into letting you produce, you know, a play at their theater. You know, it was just it was an amazing feeling, knowing that I was my own person. Mm-hmm. And I had complete control over my production needs.
Yeah, I remember when you first moved in, you were telling me that you painted the place yourself. You hooked up very
yes,
nice.
I did. Yes, I did. 11 gallons of orange paint.
Right. But that's desire, that's motivation, that's do for self.
Oh my God, yes it is. And I'm telling you how tired I was afterward, but it was all worth it. You know, it's like when you get something, I didn't want to trust anybody else to do it. Okay. You know that, and the fact that I had ran out of money by the time I put all the deposits and stuff down and bought all the equipment and chairs and things like that I needed. So there was like really no money left to do the painting. So I said, well, I'll buy the paint and I'll just do it myself. And it took me about 3 weeks. Okay. I did it every day after I left my day job.
Right. And
I was in there till about 11 o'clock every day. And when it was finally done, it was just an awesome feeling. It just really was. It's almost indescribable how good that feels to have that accomplishment. Because as you know, I started Lady C Productions in 2009. Right. And we got into Artscape in 2016. So it was a very long time coming.
7 years,
and the thing was, I never thought about actually owning my own space until I couldn't get it. So, you know, until I couldn't find places to perform. So, you know, they say necessity is the mother of invention. Mm-hmm. And it was a necessity that I be producing, and that's what came from it.
Right. You know, you said something just a while ago that was very significant. You said that you are now working there full time. This is your passion. This is your creativity. So talk about the transition from being there on a part-time basis to now being there on a full-time basis.
Well, the transition, it was, again, because we've had COVID, the company I was working for, they had to cut out a bunch of positions. And after being with them for about almost 5 years, I was one of the positions that was cut out. And I remember them having me on a Zoom call and them telling me that my position had been terminated. And all I could think about was, if you guys just get off the phone, I have a 4:30 at Artscape. So I went that night to Artscape for my 4:30 appointment. And then I, got my office hours and whatever. They're from 11 to 4. But of course, with other things, I'm there late a lot of times. So the transition really wasn't that difficult for me because I had already worked a full-time job up until the day when I started working there full-time.
Right.
So, it wasn't that big a transition. Actually, I do find that I feel like I work harder at Artscape than I did when I was working at Artscape at the full-time job, because I can put more time into it.
Well, Artscape is a full-time job in itself. You have to run the facility, and you also have, which we'll get into a little later, you have a marketplace, which I've seen on the weekends, I've seen on Facebook, where you have people from different businesses and entrepreneurs coming in and vending, which is a very good thing. Now, are you running Artscape by yourself, or do you have a staff? Do you have volunteers?
No, I actually run Artscape by myself. And what I do is, when I have a day, like some weeks I might have 3 or 4 events back to back, then I have people that I hire to come in and, do the cleaning and, do the switch between events, because with Artscape, everybody has a different floor plan that they want their event to look like when they rent the space out. So sometimes I may have to, do a quick change. Like I might have a brunch in the morning and a party at night. So it gives me like 3 or 4 hours to do a quick change, change the furniture, the linens, all of that kind of stuff. So when it gets too much for me, I do have people that I can call to, come and help me out.
Okay.
Right now I have an intern that helps me with some things, but not necessarily at Artscape. It's, outside things, reaching out to people, that kind of thing.
Okay. Now, you mentioned a couple of times Black Box Theater. Well, what is Black Box Theater, for those who may not know?
Okay, well, Black Box Theater is like, you see the Grand Opera House and all of those big giant theaters. Well, long time ago, when people first started doing theater, it's just what it says. It's a square or rectangular building for theater that's generally painted black. But since my favorite color is orange, I decided to do something a little bit different. I painted mine orange instead of black. Okay. But a lot of them are held in, like warehouse space.
Okay.
Yeah, so Black Box Theater is just a simplified it's just a simplified theater. Our lights and sound and everything is portable. So, when you don't own the building, you don't want to have to leave your stuff in there. So, our lights and sounds and everything are portable. If I need big lighting and big sound, then I'll hire somebody to come in for the production.
Right, that definitely. A lot of people, when they think about theater, they think about Hollywood. They think about the big names. There's a certain look that casting directors look for when they cast their plays. So in terms of your casting, or do you look for the Hollywood type looking people, or do you look for community type people? How do you cast your actors and actresses? Or how do you go about casting? I should ask.
I actually don't have I'm going to say I rarely have a certain look that I'm looking for. Okay. I like, when I do a play, I like for my actors to look like the audience. There's some people that won't hire a lead unless she's a size 3 and 5'9" and maybe 6 feet in heels. Right. But for me, I'm a leading lady and I'm a plus size girl. Mm-hmm. So that, that does help a lot in when I make choices. I try to make the people look like someone that the audience can actually relate to.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, because it's casting, it's not easy. So some of us, we like typecasting, and then,
Yeah,
it-
exactly. Because you can get typecasted. And one thing, I was always casted as somebody's aunt, somebody's best friend, somebody's grandmother. Because of my size, not just because, not it had nothing to do with my age. I was getting
okay,
casted in grandmom parts when I was 30.
wow,
So I mean, it's like people see you and they see one thing.
right, right,
And that's dangerous because it shows where you have a one-track mind. Like you can't see, like most directors wouldn't see me as a sex symbol,
okay,
you know.
yeah, I
Although,
was.
yeah.
Well, it's like I'll give you two examples: Halle Berry and Denzel Washington. When Halle Berry played in Spike Lee's movie, I forgot she played a drug addict, and
Oh,
right,
the crack
the
lady. Yeah.
crackhead, yeah, crackhead, and people look at Halle Berry and say, "What a crackhead?" Because she's beautiful, so she may be looked upon as the uh, leading actress that the male love, he falls in love with. Got people like
Hmm.
Denzel Washington. In Training Day, he was a bad guy, and it was kind of odd for people to see Denzel Washington because they used to see him being a ladies' man or being a good guy. So, but that's part of acting. Part of acting is portraying a character that's not you.
Right. You have to bring the character. You have to bring the character alive. And
Definitely.
it's funny because I've met some actors that they've been typecasted so much they don't know how to play anything else.
Right, right.
So that's going to be detrimental to their careers.
Definitely, definitely. So going back to your plays, your plays, do you write dramatic plays? You write comedies? You write suspense, action? What type of plays do you write?
Oh my goodness. So far, the plays that I've actually produced have been maybe family inspirational comedies. But I'm going to tell you, these last 2 years have been very, very trying for me, both professionally and emotionally.
Mm.
So I have written some stuff. I mean, I've gone way, way out.
Oh,
I've
wow.
done some, actually, I have one that I'm working on right now. It's called Writer's Retreat, which is a murder mystery suspense. And that one is crazy. So if people have seen my earlier plays, like North Philly Billies and Rumors,
Right.
they're going to see a whole different Connie with this one. I've also written a play called Love's Last Holiday. It's actually my first tragic love story, and it's based on something that I experienced about 2 years ago. Person that I was involved with and very much in love with passed away very suddenly. And so, they say that you can write your best stuff from a place of pain. And that inspired me to, write this particular play.
All right.
So then I have others. I've been really going out on the limb and testing my limits.
Right.
Because when you set the bar high, eventually you kind of reach that bar and you need to go somewhere else. So I have those things that I'm writing, and I also have an erotic thriller.
Oh, okay. So
So
gotcha.
that's gonna be that's different. I'm just gonna say that's very different. And I will probably end up renting a theater to do that one.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, because Artscape is not going to give me the space that I need in the atmosphere to perform that one.
Right.
So, I
So
do have a lot that I can do at Artscape, but there are somewhere I'm going to need, I'm either going to need to rent a theater space or get another space.
oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
get
that's
another space, get a larger space, and maybe an additional space that will seat more people that I could do more things with. So, actually, that's actually a goal.
okay. Now, Arscape, what's the full capacity that you have? Is it like 100 people, 90 people? Well, I
Well,
guess it kind of,
yeah, I actually have three capacities because I do so much with it. So
it's
if
a
I'm
really,
doing an art gallery show, if I'm doing a show where it's just, like an art gallery show, it's 87. If I'm doing a seated show, which is what my dinner theaters are, when I do the dinner theater, it's 159.
okay.
And then if I do like a live band, and a lot of my bands come through, they don't want seating. They like to stand. So a standing event is actually $2.99.
Okay, great. Great, great. Okay, now next month or this summer, you got something big coming up. Now, I don't know if you had this in the past. I can't recall you having this in the past. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you're having a youth summer workshop. Talk about it.
Yes, the youth summer workshop. I'm really, really excited about this. It's my summer acting workshop, and I've actually started it. Well, I'm going to tell you, I studied it a little bit because there's other places that have the workshops. So they do the workshop, and they teach the acting techniques and those kind of things, and they run it for 2 weeks, and the children learn all of those different techniques and stuff, how to do monologues and all that kind of stuff. My summer camp is going to be 9 hours a week for 6 weeks. And the first 2 weeks is going to be all of the instruction, all those exercises, the monologues. I'm teaching them how to perform and write the monologues. And then we're going into a full out production. So I want the kids to have the experience of actually being on stage at the end of their acting class. So that's going to be great. I had some signups the other day. On May 27th was our information meeting. So I had 3 kids come in and 3 kids sign up. So the registration is still open at Artscape. If you guys want to, if someone wants to call and just get the information, they could text their email address and their name to 302-433-6622. And I will shoot them the registration forms. Or if they just want to call me at that number and come down, I'm at Artscape every day, except for Monday. And we can meet and I can discuss the class with them and, see whether whether Lady C Productions is a good fit with their child.
Wow. So it's you said 6 weeks to training workshop?
Yeah.
Well, okay.
Yep.
So now,
excuse me?
Okay. Now what are the ages for the youth?
Well, I started off with ages 10 to 15, but
okay.
A mother brought her 8-year-old in, and this kid kind of blew me away. So if your 8-year-old or your 9-year-old is very mature and they can read a script and follow direction, then I will actually take the children younger, because I've worked with children 6 years old and up.
Okay. Now, do the youth have to audition first, or can they just come in, just register, and they're automatically in the program?
They just register and they're automatically in the program. It's a teaching program. So if they have no acting experience whatsoever, they will have acting experience by the time they leave me.
Okay. Now, would you like to discuss the costs or the cost of the workshop, or you want them to get that later?
No, it's $150. That's all I'm charging.
Okay.
So their kids will be with me for 9 weeks, for 9 hours a week, for 6 weeks for $150. Okay,
now what are the hours of the workshop?
Okay, so the workshops are going to be in the afternoon from 3 o'clock to 6 o'clock p.m. Okay. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, 3 to 6. 3 to 6. And, that's when it's going to be. I need kids to be there on time, because one of the most important things about production is being on time. Time is money. When you are in a production and you're in a union house, if you're 30 minutes late, everybody that's working gets paid overtime. That comes out of the producer's pocket. So I need people to be on time.
Definitely. I mean, yeah.
Time is money.
Producers not going to be too happy. They got to pay some overtime.
They're not going to be too happy when they got to pay overtime for 40 people because, the theater's open and you're not there. So that's one of the things that I, try to teach from the beginning. Even when I work with adults, I've had adults that will, take apart and say, oh, well, I can't be there at 7. I need to be there at 7:30. Well, you can't be in this production then, because I can't allow you to come and go as you please, where I'm keeping everybody else to a strict set schedule. either you want to be here or you're not, and you have to just make sacrifices.
Right, right. And going back to your casting, do you have actors or actresses that have been involved in more than one play that you really enjoy having this actor? I mean, they're so talented, they're so committed. I gotta continue to bring this person back, because Spike Lee does it a lot. Sometimes you see the same actors or actresses in his movie productions,
Yes.
and then some of the other directors and producers bring the same people at their productions.
I have not so much because they're that good that I just want to have them back.
Okay.
But because we work so well together, when I put the audition call out, they always audition.
Okay, got you.
So I've had a few, like Demetrius Bullock. He's been in 2 of my plays so far. He played Martin Luther King when we did The Meeting. And then he played Ebenezer Scrooge in the Christmas play we did a couple of years ago. Ashley Baker has been in maybe all but 2 of my plays. And, who else? Rob C., as a matter of fact, he's been in 2 of my plays also. So I do always get a bunch of new actors, but I do have a few actors that, every time they see something that I'm putting on, they audition for it, which, I'm really grateful for. And that goes to say a lot about me and the working experience that we have together.
Right. You also have Tony Trower. She's been in a couple of your productions, right?
What did she do? Yeah, she actually did. What did we do? She did the Vagina Monologues with me. Mm-hmm. And she did the 12 Angry Women, which was my first production that I did at Artscape.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
So, yes, she did that. And the funny thing about it is, like, I had known Tony, I met Tony about 30 some years ago when we were both young mothers through my cousin. They were best friends. Okay. And when she walked into the audition, I looked at her, I said, I know you from somewhere. And she would say, yeah, you were at my bachelorette party when I got married. And I was like, oh my God. So it's kind of like, we picked up where we left off. So we've done a few projects together, and, I support her, whenever I can get away from Artscape and I see that she's doing something, I support her, and she does the same thing for me. We're just very good friends.
Definitely. Now, we touched earlier on the marketplace venue that you have. Usually on Saturdays, we have different entrepreneurs and vendors come and sell and promote their products. Oh, yeah. Talk about that for a little bit.
Okay, well, we call that Small Business Sundays, and we do it like 2 Sundays a month. Yeah, that's okay. We do it 2 Sundays a month. And, the reason I wanted to do that is because when COVID hit, a lot of the vendors, basically, they made their money going out to places to vend. But since we couldn't go out and, we couldn't have indoor things, once we opened up a little bit, I started doing that as a way to help them to rebuild their businesses, and also, to help me out too. One hand washes the other, and they pay to be at that space, and then I promote and I market and get customers in there for them to sell their products and stuff. Now, what a lot of people don't know is that a lot of those vendors started when I started Lady C Production back in 2009, have been with me since then.
Oh, wow.
So it's also about, relationship building as well. So whenever I have any type of events that, could require a vendor or something like that, I'll reach out to my vendors and then, allow them to come in and do sales. And also, when other people rent the space, if they say, Miss Connie, we know you do the vendor thing, we need some vendors for our, for our event, I connect the 2 of them, so that way everybody stays working, everybody stays working, and it keeps the cost down, too, for some of the people.
Right. Well, let's get into the vendors and entrepreneurs. What type of vendors and entrepreneurs do you have there? Like, what do they sell? I mean, is it jewelry? Is it food?
Oh my gosh. Well, I do have several caterers that I have relationships with, and they come in and they sell food there. We have jewelry, people that sell jewelry, people that sell clothes. We actually have a relationship with New York Life, and they come out and they talk to the people about life insurance and stuff, and also new added products. With entrepreneurs, a lot of us are full-time, so we need access to health insurance and life insurance and disability insurance and all that kind of stuff. So we have people that come out with services. We have natural skincare vendors. We have detox vendors, people that will teach you how to detox. And then sometimes we have people that come through with, programs that they start and they just want to get the word out. They're not necessarily there to sell, but to, give out business cards about their services. We have massage therapists. We have massage therapists that come through. Just anybody that has a business can come through Artscape and be exposed to the amount of, customers and clients and even other vendors that they may be able to work with. And it's actually about to get really, really busy now because the Cooper just opened up right across the street from me. It's a 92 apartment unit.
Oh, wow.
So I am so getting ready for this. I've been getting ready for their arrival for the last year. And, of course, that means a lot to have your customer base directly across the street.
Right. Definitely.
We sell art too.
Oh, okay. Definitely. Speaking of entrepreneurs, since you've been on, is it 205 North Market Street, right? Correct?
Yes.
You have developed and established a well-respected relationship with two other women on that block, Dr. J. Macklin and Miss Eunice LaFate, who's a folk artist. Talk about your relationship with those two women. Okay, you're muted.
So we actually have a really good relationship. Dr. Macklin and I have more of a personal relationship. We help each other out and stuff. We go out to dinner, we travel, and we kind of knock ideas off of each other. Eunice, I actually met her before I rented the building out because I've been a patron of her art for quite some time.
Okay.
So I was really happy to meet her, and she's great too. I mean, she comes down and she'll promote my business. She's just an awesome person. As a matter of fact, she's having something this Friday evening, and I'm also having something this Friday evening. We have an art show.
Oh, okay.
So I will be at my art show, but then I need to take a break and run down so I can support Eunice because she's always supported me in everything that I've done since I've met her. So, Dr. J likes to call us the Divas of Loma.
Right. She talks about you all the time.
Like, this is. Yeah, so we have it's 3 Black women on the block that have businesses, so we get to be the Divas of Loma.
Right. Yeah, Dr. J has mentioned that on several occasions, and this is why I asked the question. Being a producer and a director, and even acting in your own production, it can be it's very heavy. How do you able to handle being a producer, director, and actress? Because that's like three major jobs all in one. So, but you've been doing it for quite some time, so.
Yeah, it's not as easy as I thought it was going to be, I got to tell you.
Right.
But the last few productions, I have been focusing mainly on the producing and directing part. And I've actually been making sure that I have enough actors on the set that I don't have to get involved. But every now and then I will do a very small part because you still have to memorize that stuff. And I'm finding that it's a little bit more difficult now because while I'm doing a production, I'm still running the business. where before I could just focus on the production,
Right.
but the bills still need to be paid for that building while we're in production. So, you know, I'm in there and I'm producing and I'm directing and I'm trying to act, and then I'm getting phone calls coming through. People want to rent the space. I'm getting texts. I got like 6 social media pages, and none of that stuff can lack just because, you know, lapse because I want to be in a production. So I will take a small part, you know, on a play, just maybe a few lines and stuff to kind of keep my, you know, my head on straight. When it comes to the act. But farming that out, you know, the acting jobs out now, and just focusing more on the creative stuff and the stuff in the background.
Right. How supportive have your family been in terms of Artscape?
Excuse me?
I said, how supportive have your family been with what you do in terms of Artscape, your plays? Because family can be very important. You know, they're your biggest critiquers, they're your biggest supporters, and you got a lot going on.
Well, I'm going to say my immediate family, my children, and my ex-husband actually have been my biggest supporters. You know, they come to every production, they come out to some of the other shows. You know, my son will come and he will do whatever is necessary. You know, he'll come in and a lot of times he's my business manager on the show. So, you know, he'll handle the money and stuff like that, and extra staffing to make sure the place gets cleaned and everything like that.
Right.
Sometimes he'll handle stuff behind the scenes, you know, so they do whatever needs to be done. My daughters have come in and they do makeup, you know, costuming, you know, whatever I need. And my ex-husband, he'll come sometimes and he'll do security. So, you know, my immediate family supports me a lot. You know, I have a sister that comes out. She's at the Small Business Sundays every other week. Right. And, you know, she supports Artscape. You know, she's there almost as much as I am now, my baby sister. And, you know, but as far as like, you know, cousins and things like that, they don't really get out as much because a lot of my family lives out of state.
Right, right.
So, you know, and I do have friends that I grew up with that, you know, come from North Carolina and stuff like that, you know, when I have something really big going on. But, you know, sometimes it's hard to, you know, get family to come out. I've heard from other people. And the thing is, when you start a business, you really can't depend on your family and friends to always come out. I have friends that just don't like plays. You know, so they just don't come out. And I know it's not because they don't love me, it's just that plays are not their thing. You know, so that's one of the important reasons for, you know, marketing yourself and making sure that you meet other people. You know, I don't, like I always use this example. I say Walmart didn't become Walmart from just a cousin shopping there. You know, you have to market yourself and you have to get, you know, other people to follow you. And if you have a great sense of humor and a great personality and you're just an all around good person, people will follow you. Right. And they will support you, you know, because I only got about 75 people in my family. I need like 75 million people to do what I need to do.
Definitely. So. Definitely. It's busy. It's real busy. Yeah, you know, when people see plays and things that they share, they say they see the here and now, but they don't see the build up and the sweat and the hard work that you put to make sure that this production is right on time. You know, that it's good. You know, but.
Yes, and it is a lot of work. I mean, you know, like timing is everything, and a lot of times, you know, like we live in Delaware, so Delaware is not really big for play productions and stuff. It's not like we're going to Detroit or Atlanta or anything like that. So a lot of the actors that we have here, we're starting fresh, and we're also training during our productions. So, you know, it is a little bit more. We live in New York. I could put an audition list up and have the place a line wrapped around the corner. But it is a little bit harder to find them when you live in a small town, especially when you have places like Philadelphia and Baltimore, you know, where people will go there for opportunities as well.
Right, right. Have you ever thought about doing television and film?
I'm actually writing a script for film right now.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, I'm writing a script for film. But one thing I found out, if you want to do it right, there's a lot of studying to go with it. You know, there's a lot of studying to go with it. You can't just grab a camera and start shooting stuff
Mm,
because, you know, it just needs to be done right and it needs to be marketable.
yeah,
And if it's not done right and it's not marketable, you might sell those initial tickets to people who are excited about seeing your premiere, but it won't go any further. And it's very expensive, you know, to do a film.
yeah, it
So you
is.
don't want to make that investment, that $25,000, $30,000 investment, and that's that's a cheap film. You don't want to make a $30,000 investment and then have it bomb because you didn't know the right thing. So, I mean, my suggestion on that would be for people to just, before they decide to go into film, make sure that they do the homework and educate themselves on it.
Right, right. Yeah, that's definitely true. I mean, it's a big difference when you're doing film because you got to shoot, over, cut, shoot, cut, shoot, cut, and it's the same. I would imagine with television as well. Is there an actor or actress, well known or local, that you would love to work with in terms of being playing a lead role with, or having him or her in your play?
Hmm.
Let's put you on the
Let
spot.
me tell you, it's been a minute since I've thought about that. But you know, I had a dream team about 10 years ago.
Oh
I
wow.
would love to, well, I would love to work with Lawrence Fishburne. Like
Yeah.
he was like Morpheus. I like Lawrence Fishburne is one of my favorites. Of course, Harold Perrineau is one of my favorites. You know, it's like a group of people who Kerry Washington, I like her. And there's one lady, and actually I have actually met her before. Her name is Rashida Randall. And I met her on a cruise. And you know, she does some, you know, some parts and some. She was doing a play one time. Well, not a play, actually. It was a television series called Shots Fired. And I had never heard of her before. I never really paid attention to her, but I met her on a cruise. And so I would love to bring her in. And then there's another lady that I met. Her name is Chantel D. Christopher, and she does a lot of Tyler Perry stuff.
Okay.
And I met her in person. We were actually roommates on a cruise when I went. So, you know, people that I've met and I got to know their personality a little bit like that, it's probably easy to you know, easy to work with them because, you know, we understand each other and we know the rules, you know. So it wouldn't necessarily, you know, be like a Denzel Washington or something like that. I mean, I've always considered myself to be like a star maker.
Mhm.
So, you know, but I do have certain people that I would like to have in my place to help these, you know, the newbies, as I call them, to take them to higher, you know, heights.
Right. Are there any playwrights, the directors, or even well-known actors and actresses that you have come to admire?
Um, well, actually, not so much a playwright, but I like Chandra Rhimes,
Okay, yeah, yeah.
and I've just recently become familiar with Lena Waite, and I'm kind of liking some of the stuff that they're doing on television.
Okay.
Like they work with like the OWN network and whatnot. And I just really became familiar with them over COVID because I watched a lot of Netflix.
Okay. Got you, got you. Okay, Connie, so
Yeah.
before we end, oh, you have some more people? I'm sorry, I didn't want to cut you off. Okay, you
No,
good?
no, no.
Oh, okay. All
That's
right,
it.
so if someone wanted to rent the theater, and then one more time, let them know how they can go about contacting you. And then if you want to give a plug one more time for the upcoming Summer Youth Workshop.
Okay. Well, if you guys are interested in renting the theater for, you know, any type of event, you can give me a call at 302-433-6622. And I'd like to add that we are now renting in September because our summer is booked. So if you want to rent, if you need a place for September, October, November, don't wait till September, October, and November to call. You need to get on our schedule right now because we have things coming up. Another thing that I wanted to talk about is briefly, again, just to touch on our summer acting camp. It's Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays from 3 to 6. It's a 6-week program that will teach your children all the rules of production, as well as how to do a full out play. So the fee for that is $150. That's $150 for the whole summer. If your children want to do something different, or you want them to have this experience, you can also give me a call at 302-433-6622, and I will, work with you guys. Some of the things that we have coming up, we have an art show coming up on Friday called The Stars Are Closer, and it is featuring 5 LGBTQ artists. So they're all young people, 25 years old and a little bit older. So come out on Friday and support them. Starts at 5 p.m. There's a $10 fee to get in. There's also an open mic is going to be there. We have food, we have the art. It's just going to be an amazing experience. We have our Small Business Sundays. The next one is on June 13th. It starts at noon and it ends at 5 o'clock. If you guys want to do any shopping or meet the vendors, just come on down on that day. And we got something I want to kind of give you guys a sneak peek. We have the Delaware Comics Conclave is doing a Comic-Con in August at Artscape. So what you guys need to do is go to www.artscape.com and check out our schedule there. Right now, we have everything on the schedule that from now until the end of the year, and stuff is getting added. So you can find things to do. And if you're a person that likes comics and stuff like that, come on down to our Comic-Con. I know they have one every year in Dover, but this may be the first one that we've had in Wilmington, and it is being held at Artscape.
Connie, with this COVID thing, I guess going down a little bit, theaters are starting to open back up. How excited are you to see some plays, see some tours, see Broadway? How excited are you?
I am actually very excited about it. I mean, I didn't want to stop. I figured if I put a mask on, I'll be okay. But, Broadway shut down. So I'm excited about being able to go and see some plays. And also, I have a lot of friends in Detroit and Atlanta that put on productions that I go to support throughout the year. I travel down there and go check out their plays and their movie openings and that kind of thing. So I'll be glad to get down and, see my friends that produce also. But I'm very, very, very much excited about my own production as well, because, we set out a whole year. So I'm about 3 productions behind. So we need to get on that.
Now, on top of the program, you mentioned that you were an award-winning playwright. Where'd you get the award from? Your award?
Oh, I got an award. It's a group called, it was the group that I got was called Mayan Enterprises. And this was for North Philly Billies, and it was for promoting community activism through theater. And that was my play, North Philly Billies. Since then, I've won. Wait a minute, let me show you. I actually had to show you these. I love this little thing here. So this is my award wall. So I have won a lot of awards since 2009 for playwriting, best concept. I won an award called the Ronnie Johnson Award, and that was for Artscape, as a matter of fact, providing a platform, for performance. I've won 2 awards for Artscape, as a matter of fact.
That is awesome. Okay, before we close out, if you want to say your hours of operations and what is the address for those who just may want to stop by and talk with you?
Okay, well, Artscape is at 205 North Market Street in Wilmington, Delaware. Our hours of operation are Tuesday through Sunday, 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. Now, we do have special events in the evening, so you'll have to go and check those out on our website. But our office hours are 11 to 4, Tuesday through Sunday.
And why don't you give your website one more time?
It's www.artscape, ARTZSCAPE.com.
All right, Connie, it was a pleasure, an honor.
Always a pleasure.
All right, thank you for being a guest, and I'd like to thank those for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share. I'm gonna stop by one day, see how things are.
Yeah, come on down. I always got food and fruit and stuff in the refrigerator.
Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. God bless.
I'll see you people. All right.
All right. Take care.
You too. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome.